Ooh, it has left and right.
I don't abide by that.
I see why.
Because so you can kind of swing it a little bit so it's not directly in front of your face, kind of off to the side a little bit, and then push it back a little. Yeah, so it's kind of like this.
And it's interesting because, like, subconsciously, I knew that I watched a lot of them, so like I slowly drift away.
He does drift. I used to do like an intro and like run back and forth to like the Rodecaster and all that, and do like the intro music and then then run back, sit on the seat, and I'm like, okay, guys, let's do it. And then I realized that my editor can just do all of that in post production.
Meanwhile,
he's like, why are you running back and forth?
Hell yeah.
And I was just like
Sweaty,
you
gotta take a second.
Because I'm a one-man show, that's
yeah,
why.
dude, I'm new to this, dude. Like, quit judging me. Welcome to the Real Alaska Podcast. I am the host, Justin, my sidekick,
Billy Hughes. Welcome, everyone.
And we're here with
Rico, co-owner of Pink Cadillac.
And Kastle here with Kastle's Creations and Pink Cadillac as well.
Well, guys, welcome to our show. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, that was like, I'm glad that you guys reached out. Sorry it took me some time to get back to you. I've been super busy.
Okay.
So
yeah, we know how that is.
between travel and everything else, I was like, oh boy. So, well, welcome to the show. Glad to having you guys on. So tell us about, where your bar's at, and then also the bakery side of things. I mean, you guys have a few different things going on, which is cool. So.
Yeah. So the Pink Cadillac Country Bar is over off Muldoon Road.
Okay.
It's where the old Last Frontier Bar used to be.
Okay.
And we just opened the full bar last February 1st. And we've been doing that for a little bit over a year now. The bakery I've been doing for over 14 years now. So a lot more history there.
Yeah.
I started as a mobile food truck. I work out of a 500 square foot kitchen in my garage. And now I'm in the wholesale world and in Three Bears and getting all over the state.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm sure that keeps you very busy.
Oh, yeah. I have a calendar with multiple colors. We've got a giant, what did we get, a 4 foot by 8 foot calendar for our wall. And it's like all color coordinated. We've got a digital one.
It was so big, it had to be in the hallway.
Yeah.
Dude,
So when we argue, it's in the hallway.
that's awesome. Yeah. Well, good.
Actually, I feel like you guys addressed a lot of stuff with that setup. You know,
Yeah.
like efficiencies. If we're gonna argue, it's gonna be here.
Yeah.
Yeah?
We'll leave it for.
Yeah, we have all the space in the world to wrestle, and yeah, it's great.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, so on the bakery side of things, you started 14 years ago. So I guess what kind of stuff do you guys make as Three Bears, and what are you guys putting out?
Yeah, so I started out as cupcakes only. Cupcake Wars is where I got inspired.
Okay.
Started with cupcakes. There were no cupcake shops here in Alaska, so kind of tested the market.
Yeah.
Ran with it. It was popular from the day I started it, and had my first food truck built, which again, Alaska wasn't well known for that either. So it kind of caught fire and was popular. As soon as my food truck debuted, I sold 1,000 cupcakes in an hour.
What?
So yeah. So and it was
That's
just
awesome.
And then I think it was 2 years later is when I went on Cupcake Wars, and then just kind of gained more traction, with that credibility. And I've gone from cupcakes to cakes to cheesecakes to truffles to basically anything people want that are sweets I can do. And all our stuff with wholesale is cheesecakes. They're no-bake cheesecakes. Peanut butter pie was my favorite dessert, so I decided to create my own. And then I started taking it to restaurants by the slice and was like, do you make your own desserts? And if they said no, I was like, here, you should try mine and sell it. And so kind of started in the restaurants first, and they carry them by the slice on their menus at about 20, 25 different restaurants across the state. And then in February, I got a deal with Three Bears, and now we're in 17 locations across the state, and they carry my full-size and mini-size cheesecakes. They have 3 flavors they carry all the time, and then every month we come out with a special flavor that's just for that month.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's your favorite flavor?
Peanut butter pie.
Yeah.
This month, though, I made a new flavor, and it's s'mores. And
Ooh, I love the s'mores. Oh my goodness.
he tried it yesterday.
Yeah, Rico,
and
what's
was
your
like,
favorite? Peanut butter pie?
The s'mores.
The s'more,
that just came out
jam?
this week. Yeah.
Okay.
It's amazing.
What is the best-selling one?
Peanut butter pie.
Okay, well, that
Yeah,
explains
peanut
it.
butter pie and...
Sounds like a lot of love goes into that one.
It does, because I love peanut butter. But churro is also like the second one.
Okay.
But like when restaurants, when they order in from the distributors and stuff, like they'll order like 15 peanut butter and one each of the other flavors. So peanut butter, like I don't know if
And-
it's because peanut butter's everywhere, and so like that's just what people know and love, and they just stick to what they know
Yeah.
rather than venturing out
That
to
makes
the.
sense. I feel like we did get the leak on the release though for this more. Like, does other people know about that? Or we the
Oh
first
yeah,
one?
it's coming out tomorrow to Three Bears getting delivered.
okay.
This
We-
is the leak.
Yeah,
Yeah, there we go. Awesome.
yeah. It is at Pink Cadillac. We sell my desserts there too. So
Very cool.
they got showcased there starting on Tuesday, so people got a sneak peek to come in and try it there too. But I don't know how many people tried it last night.
Is that where you guys are dropping the new stuff? Is that Pink Cadillac, or are you doing like beta testing there?
I have a couple times. Like when I did a tiramisu flavor, I brought it there because I don't drink coffee. I don't even like coffee. And so I was like, okay, I need help making this flavor. And I think I made 3 or 4 different varieties of it because I was like, I don't know if it's enough. I don't know if it's too much. And
Yeah.
so I enticed people to come there to
Yeah.
get free dessert and
Yeah,
try and
those
give me
coffee
feedback.
people are so snobby. It's like, it needs more coffee.
See?
It needs
was
less
hard.
coffee. It needs more coffee.
Yeah.
It needs less.
Yeah, it was-
Or or like a dark mocha.
It needs a dark mocha from Alaska House of Coffee. Shout out to Haven.
I like that. I love that.
I was like, I could tell she didn't make it this morning.
Meanwhile, I'm like, hot's good. You know?
Right.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, coming from the-
Keurig, black, good.
yeah. Oh man. So did you guys buy the last Frontier bar? Like, how did the bar thing come out of this whole bakery deal?
Well, we met, 5 years ago
Yeah.
on the dance floor, and I've been DJing for now like 10 years.
Right.
So I've been DJing, know the whole country music
Yeah.
scene here. And
That makes sense. That's where I recognize you. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I didn't recognize you from somewhere. Right. So with that, basically, Last Frontier came up, or the space did,
Right.
back in 2020.
Right.
Or
No, it closed down in
it
2020.
closed down in 2020.
Yes.
And then 2024, we picked it up. But before that, it was 2023, and went on Facebook Market. Of
Yeah.
all the places to put
Pick
up.
up a bar or a place.
Yeah, well, it was vacant for 3 years,
Right.
And so the only thing that was in there was like 12 tables, the original bar, and a bunch of rat crap in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of cleanup. It was just basically a canvas, a lot
Yeah.
of out of date electrical work and
Yeah.
stuff that
Oh
needs
yeah.
to be done.
Yep.
But yeah, we got it, and now it's the new happening place in Alaska, Anchorage for sure.
Yeah. I don't go to East Anchorage very often, so I don't know if I've been over there since it's reopened, but
We definitely
So-
should come.
yeah.
Ladies' night.
Yeah. So you guys bought the bars at lease space, or
It's leased.
Leased, yeah.
Yep.
So we rent it.
cool. So what made you guys want to do the bar scene?
So at that point, I was DJing at the Homestead Lounge
Uh-huh.
for three and a half years.
Uh-huh.
And it was the biggest happening spot in Alaska on a Thursday night. There was nothing could touch Homestead Lounge on a Thursday night.
Well, it's
for
part
country
of the
night.
circuit, right? Like people have like a little routine they do, and they always go out to homies and do the whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. So if you're ever, if you go out drinking 3 nights a week here in Alaska, it would be Homestead and then downtown on Friday and Saturday, and a lot of people have caught wind of that, and it's a big
Yeah.
military presence, and
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
And then that's we're like, well, also I asked for like probably 7 pay raises, got like 3 of them, and just was not compensated for the value we brought.
Right.
Like he grew
Yeah.
the place was making barely over $1,000 a night before country night started there to well over, $10,000. And he basically created it and brought all the country community there. And, we kept trying to give him ideas of you should do this, you should do that to make the space better and for the dancers. And like he DJ'd at lots of different bars and no one wanted to listen. And so when the space came open, I was like, well, should we just do it ourselves? Like,
Yeah.
we don't know what we're doing,
Yeah.
but like, I know business and he knows music and we love dancing and like,
Yeah.
let's put something together and create a better experience and, put a lot more like love and time and effort and money
Yeah.
into
Lots
something to
of
create
TLC.
a better experience.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. I remember someone telling me you guys were working on that when it first happened. Because I would occasionally go to the country nights thing. So
Yeah.
it's not a huge group of people, but
Yeah.
it's a consistent group of people.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of hearing it on the streets, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they were, it's cool that it was successful. I remember hearing it thinking like, oh, that's a good idea. You know?
Yeah, and we're we're kind of like the only country bar in Anchorage that's like consistently country.
Right.
Because they have the country nights once a week.
Yeah.
There's places that have country night on, like there's 3 places that have country night on Thursday. Then you have Coots on Wednesday. But there's nothing like all the time. And you have a lot of people that love country music that want to go more than one night a week. And then you have a lot of people because of the military that come here from places that love that kind of stuff and they don't have access to it. So I definitely feel like there was a demand for it to build something for it.
That's awesome. So you guys have been open for a year now?
17 months.
As a bar, yeah.
As a bar, yeah.
So
Cool.
we started as just a dance hall because when we first opened, so we got the place, it was disaster. We basically was like, we're going to do the bare minimum. They gave us 1 free month of no rent.
Yeah.
So we
Should've been
did,
more.
we
goodness.
painted the ceilings, painted the walls, redid the dance floor. That was it.
Yeah.
And then we opened the doors and we were just a dance hall, open twice a week, charged people $10 to come in. That basically paid our rent and utilities. We sold water and soda and my desserts as well.
Yeah.
And then we waited for a liquor license to come open. And it was about, so that was June. And then by October is when we started the liquor license process and then opened up in February as a full bar.
I've heard that's a pain in the butt.
Oh my
My
goodness.
goodness. There's not
So
many
much
things
work.
more difficult than that.
Yeah.
Gotta love how challenging they make it to run business in Alaska,
And-
especially the Muni.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, more just trying to find one too.
Yes.
I think there's 118 out there, and I think the population is due for just 92 of them, so they're not making any more.
No, yeah. I know it's population based, right? Mm-hmm. And it's bizarre because I was looking. I've got a bunch of like real estate friends down in San Antonio,
Oh boy.
and I was like, oh yeah, I was looking at this venue and they do a ton of wedding stuff, and it just came up for sale, and I was like, oh man, but they don't do any of their own liquor. They don't do any wine or beer sales. So if like the wedding party wants that, they have to bring somebody else in. And I'm like,
Yeah.
That's
how
a
do
lot
you
of your
not do
profits,
that?
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was like, hey man, like, what's the process to do like a beer and wine license? He's like, $1,200 and 5 days.
That's it.
And I'm like,
Yeah, for beer and
What?
wine?
Yeah. Beer and wine's easy.
Way
You know?
easier.
Well, you
Yeah.
could create like a pouring company. I mean, if it's really that easy and the barrier's so low, you just have a pouring company and cater to all these venues that don't do that.
but they also don't have a cap. It's like even beer and wine I hear.
Yeah,
They don't have any
exactly.
more licenses. So you have to go find whoever's selling one.
I don't think so.
So
Is
with
it-
beer and wine, I believe it's with restaurants usually, and as long as your sales are over 50%
51%.
for food, and then 49% or less
Oh,
for
yeah.
alcohol.
You don't
Yeah,
They just do whatever.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's how
Oh,
we started.
perfect.
Is we applied for in July. We actually applied for a beer and wine license just to get something in there while we waited for the full
Something in there.
full liquor license. And we were like, we'll do a pizzeria and we'll sell my desserts, and
It's a
that'll
lot of
be
pizza, a lot of
our.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like,
Bet, man. Holy smokes.
yeah, I was like, I don't think we'll sell 51%, but they don't check for till 2 years when you.
Whoa.
So I was like, well, no, I was like, we're gonna get a liquor license before that time
Yeah.
would come up to check sales.
Right.
Versus
That was going to be my
things.
question: is how would you manage that? If you just kind of
Yeah.
Probably do a cover charge, but make it automatically pizza. And then if they don't want the pizza, just give it to charity, basically, something like that. And
Yeah.
a carry forward. or something?
yeah,
Or
whatever
you put
we
like a
can.
2-drink limit on you kind of do something like that. I was
Yeah, you
wondering
can
what
do
kind
that
of
too.
One
controls.
pizza for 2 beers, yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre. The stuff you have to like finagle through.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Like-
think through that.
Yeah, well, imagine in our seats.
Well, and then how do you
really
control it at
thinking.
scale? I'm just like, I'm glad they give you 2 years to kind of sort it out.
Well, yeah, and we didn't even get the beer and wine
didn't?
license because
Yeah.
before we got done with that process, the liquor
came
license
up?
came available. So we just swapped applications
Yeah.
basically, and then went that route. So
Yeah.
we didn't even
It
have
worked
to
out
worry
really
about it.
Lifesaver.
Yeah.
Oh
Lifesaver.
man,
Oh, my
seriously.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh.
yeah.
Pinnacle turning point.
Yeah. How long did it take to go through like the whole AMCO process and all that
So
stuff?
we
or-
started in July because it.
July.
And we actually met with someone that like worked with us like throughout the whole process.
Yeah.
So then so by October is when it happened, and she's like, "Well, you were next in line for beer and wine. I'm just going to go ahead and swap your application so you don't have to start all over." And so
That's nice of
it was
them.
so nice because it would have
Yeah.
been another 5 to 6 months waiting to get to that point again.
Yeah.
And then we found out with
my
the liquor
goodness, dude.
license, you have to have, I forget what the license is called, but it's something every location that sells alcohol has to have this special permit. And once you get it, you
Yeah.
have it for life.
Oh, land.
land use permit or something
Yeah,
like
land use
that.
permit, yeah.
Yeah, and it's $5,000, but because the bar had been closed for 3 years, obviously it had lapsed, so we had to get a new one of those. And so our liquor license was actually approved in like November, but then the land use permit only goes up in front of assembly like once a quarter. So we had to wait till January for that assembly to then wait till open in
And there was
February.
nothing happening in December.
Yeah, so I'm like, we're missing out on Christmas and New Year's Eve and like other parties.
Prime
that,
wintertime. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually an encumbrance for that system. I've noticed.
Yeah.
And it's not just it's marijuana and alcohol and all those things are, for those special land use permits.
Yeah.
It's a lot of holding costs that you're leaving on business owners.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think they'd really understand that.
Yeah. That permit was not fun either. Till you get it like approved and they're like, okay, now take this application and go drop it off at these 7 locations, and then you need signatures from all them, and then pick it up and then go take it here. And I'm like,
Throwing
oh
us
my goodness.
into the ringer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. It's because I own a good portion of this building. We've been working on this thing for a year and a half now, right? And going through muni permitting and all this stuff on the construction side of things, and it is amazing on how archaic the system is for being out 2025.
Right.
They have updated some of it to where you can check things online and submit things online, which I'm like, you have the internet now. Congratulations.
Right.
But the process
have
in
a fax
itself is
machine,
just
still have a fax
so
machine.
What?
They have a
incredibly
fax machine.
challenging. I don't think they really understand how hard they make it on business to do business.
Yeah, they don't make it easy.
Well,
No.
I don't
That's
think
the
people
thing
are
with that.
presenting those you'd be like, this
No,
is
they
what it
know.
costs, right?
They know. They just don't.
But it's unfortunate because it's a prohibitive process, right? So you want innovators and startups, but then we don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say like what government has paid employees that are doing this stuff.
I know.
It's not an innovator in that spot,
No.
fighting for us.
An
It's
hourly
like,
wage kind
it's
of person
hourly,
that,
just
that has
like
great benefits and
they're just yep.
well, I'm going to be here for the next 30 years, so you
Yeah.
can wait.
Yeah. It's been fun. Learning curve. So get back on track. So you guys went through the beer and wine, swapped over to a full liquor license,
Thank God.
and then the land use permit.
Yep.
So like at what time so how long have you been fully open as a fully open like actual bar?
Yeah, 17 months.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the 17 months. Okay.
February 1st. So February
it.
1st of 2024 was the bar. June 1st of 2023 was when we did the dance hall.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those were fun. We barely broke even every month. Sometimes I don't even know if we did, but we're like, we got to get through. We just got to get through to the bar, and then we'll be okay. And then we thought all our problems would be solved after that. And
Side rabbit hole. We actually got it approved, January 18th or January 12th, 11th or something like that. But then, we were doing a soft opening. Soft opening went good, but then it went south the second week of soft opening with...
oh, yeah, our pipes froze.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
so we're like someone went to the bathroom, like the women's bathroom sink isn't working. I was like, that's weird. And then all of a sudden we just hear
February, by
this.
the way.
Yeah, well, it's January.
January.
So it was like a week before grand opening, and all I hear is whoosh, and water starts spraying all over the floor from the women's bath. And I'm like, thank goodness
Flooding.
no one was in there. And our pipes froze and exploded. And we're calling people in at like 1 o'clock in the morning to come fix our pipes and everything.
We had to.
And I'm like,
yeah.
oh my goodness, a week before grand opening, and this is happening. And like, we have the
sucks,
dance floor extends all the way up to where the bathroom is.
Yeah.
So like, we had to
Some water
get
damage
people in
still.
there, and then they fixed it, and overnight another pipe burst, and we come into flooding water all over the dance floor, all into the bar. And I was like, oh my goodness, we had to
I'm
get
sorry,
restoration
guys.
in there
Yeah.
and everything. So
That
yeah.
sucks. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. It's part of business.
You know, the
Dude,
silver
it
lining of
literally
that,
is.
It literally is, yeah. I guess the silver lining in that is that you got to refresh right before. And if it's going to happen, it might as well be in that.
Yeah, before like it's crowded with
like
a full house.
dance floor
Yeah.
and a full bathroom line and whatever. And
Yeah.
it's just the whole situation.
I'm just glad no one was in the bathroom because
Yeah.
it literally was like
Yeah.
the sprinkler
Just-
system. You would have been soaked like you got out of the shower.
It was
that
you know
bad.
what? It was a cleansing before
Yeah.
your opening.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was just cleansing the
was
last
purging.
frontier
It was purging.
off of the space,
Yeah.
Sucks that that was at your
The
expense.
landlord could have just turned on the heat.
Well, no, the landlord goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you in the wintertime you need to run the water so that this doesn't happen." So,
Well, they probably should have covered that then.
oh, they did.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
They covered the cost of it
But
because
it
it was
should
his
have been
fault.
heated too. Like, at
Yeah.
what point do pipes freeze
And that
in
actually-
a commercial like building, as in like a whole entire strip mall? Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
like,
and we're like, the plumber came in and he's like, "Oh, there's this heat leak here. You probably should insulate it." And the landlord goes, "Just stuff a rag in it." And I was like, "What?"
What?
Yeah, and so then I think it was last year, our pipes actually, that same thing happened where the water wasn't turning on, and we knew to turn on the water now and run it during night, but our
Yeah.
cleaning crew turned off our water during the night when cleaning, and we came in, it was happening, so right away I called the plumber. I said, "I'm pretty sure our pipes are about to burst again. I need you here now before it happens."
Yeah.
And he shows up and he goes, "You're a ticking time bomb," and I was like, "Oh my goodness." But we caught it before it happened,
Yep.
and they changed it the year before to like that blue flex piping instead of
PEX.
copper.
Yeah, the PEX.
And it was bubbled. He's like, "I've never
Oh,
seen
wow.
this happen."
That's rare with the packs.
Yeah.
Right.
And so he was able to catch it beforehand. But I think the landlord paid for it again because the plumber said, yes, it was the cleaning crew's problem for turning off the water. But if you had heat in your bathroom, your pipes wouldn't freeze. So we found out we had a heating issue with the building too, and it was freezing. There were nights it was like 50 degrees, and I'm like, customers don't want to come in here because it's so cold.
Yeah.
And so we had them fix our heat, fix the plumbing, and they fixed all the pipes and stuff. And now we have heat and air conditioning. So
Heat
Oh,
is
dang.
kind of a necessity in Alaska.
yeah, especially in
no
the winter.
way.
Weird.
Yeah. I
Who
mean,
knew?
people are wearing their coats all night. They're like, I just got out of the cold outside. I don't want to be inside and
Yeah,
cold.
and cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So it was there's been issues all along the way with the building stuff, which is the hard part about leasing rather than
Yeah.
than owning. But
Yeah. Then you get the catch side, which is now you're the one that has to pay for all the fixing. So it's like you
Some
know,
of it, yeah.
Well,
there's-
we would have had it. We would have had it good to go. We would have.
Yeah.
We would have had more control.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Just
Yep.
make it into our image or what we want to make it. And
yeah.
Yeah, commercial stuff is not cheap either.
Yeah.
You go from residential to commercial, and it's like everything is 2x.
Yeah.
The price of everything.
Yeah.
You know, doors, windows. I mean,
Doors.
Yeah.
gosh, everything. You're like,
doors.
wait,
Yeah.
how much for 2 windows and a door?
Right.
Oh my god.
Doors
Yeah.
and door frames actually are surprising. You're like, really?
So,
$2,000?
God, yes.
Yeah.
That's
2,000?
cheap.
I've seen
Oh,
expensive
that's cheap.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like more like $5,000 or $10,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We need new front doors, but it's gonna be like 15 grand.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we're good for now.
Yeah, so when you guys walked up into our space, those 2 windows in that door, upstairs.
Yeah.
The quote was $25,000.
Oh, my
for
goodness.
the 2 windows and to replace the 2 windows, and I mean, this building was built in 1950.
Should start a different business.
So
maybe.
yeah,
Doors
I
and
know,
windows.
like,
It's like, who knew? There's a lot of money in glass.
Right.
glass is insane, dude.
Yeah, I didn't
yeah. But I was like, okay, so for all 4 storefronts, I was like, it's $100,000. I was like, but that will wait. We'll wait on that.
Yeah.
Like,
Clean the windows good, they're
not
good to
quite
go.
making that off these units. So,
Yeah.
like, that's going to take me some time. Mm-hmm. But, okay. So, see, rabbit hole again. We're coming back. I warned you guys. So I had to warn everybody. This is what happens every time.
Love it.
So, bar, bakery, I guess, what got you into baking?
Yeah, so I actually have a master's degree in Spanish. And
So, really, that relates to the baking.
yes, it does. So I got my master's degree
Stepping stones.
in education. I just turned 21 when I got my degree. So
Okay.
and I was teaching high school. So here I am, basically these kids' age. Didn't respect me, didn't care to learn Spanish from me because in
Right.
Washington they're actually required to do a foreign language
Yeah.
to graduate. So
Yeah.
they didn't want to be there, no matter how fun I made it. So I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I'm putting my heart and soul into this, and they're just like being so disrespectful. So I decided to move back home to Alaska and get a little bit older. And I substitute taught for 3 years, and I couldn't get a job. It was like fighting for a job every single day. Now, like, you can have just a high school diploma and get a job
Yeah.
doing the substitute teaching.
scary.
But back then, it was like so hard to find one. And I'm like, I'm literally fighting for a job every day.
Yeah.
I can't live like this. So I decided to go into banking because I liked money, and banking has like a career path. You can move
Yeah.
up and make a career out of it.
Yep.
So I decided to do that, but I didn't enjoy it. I'm not a desk person job, sit there, count money all day, and so I was bored out of my mind. And so I decided to quit, put in my 2 weeks notice and try and figure out what to do. Worked with my dad as basically a secretary in his office, which was also boring, but I needed to work, obviously. So did
Gotta
that.
pay bills somewhere. Yeah.
But he always had the TV on, and Cupcake Wars came on TV, and it kind of inspired me. I always baked with my grandma, and I was like, I like to bake. Let's just make treats and bring them into the office, and everyone can try them for free and just tell me feedback and whatnot. And then people started calling for orders, and was like, well, maybe I should turn it into a business. And I just kept doing little things here and there, and it just caught fire. And I was like, all right, this is what I'm going to do.
Nice.
Yeah. So no plans of it, no
Yep.
education in business, no education in baking. Just something I enjoyed doing. People liked it, and there was no one was doing that.
Yeah.
So I just Cupcake Wars. That was the first season that had come out, and so Cupcakes just kind of all across the U.S. The lady that was one of the judges was the first ever cupcake shop in the U.S. And so by doing that show, it just exploded everywhere, and everyone was popping up with cupcake shops now. And Alaska's always behind the schedule with these kind of things with the trends.
Decade plus.
Yeah, so I kind of got into it. Obviously, we have bakeries here and whatnot, but cupcakes are so different than just like your normal baked goods. They can be so extravagant and whatnot. So yeah, I just ran with it and turned it into a business.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you were on Cupcake Wars?
I was.
What season? Or what year was that?
That was 2013, so 2 years after my business. I actually tried out 3 times. So I think I tried out a year after into business.
Okay.
But it's a whole process, and it's basically based on personality and whatnot. So they don't even know what your stuff. Yeah. They just want, are you going to be good TV or not?
Of course.
So I tried
They
out.
don't want someone. Yeah, they don't want someone born on there. Like,
Right.
What is this? You're like a cupcake. They're like, I mean, there's a little more to it. You know?
Yeah. And they want to see your interaction, with your
100%.
partner and stuff on the show and everything. So I tried out 3 times, got on in 2013, and then I won the episode that I was on. So it's kind of cool to be inspired by this show and then get to go on there and show my skills and kind of, learn from YouTube and just learn from trial and error, and then get to go on the show and bring back a win for Alaska.
That's super cool. I actually had no idea you did all that. So I don't watch a lot of TV, and I've obviously never seen Cupcake Wars. So
now you got to watch it.
Yeah,
it was the last season. So I made it onto the last season they ever aired.
Yeah.
So season 9, episode 12.
Okay.
And it was an aquarium theme. So I had to use seafood in a cupcake.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Especially
with
Alaska.
the Alaskan roots. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there, what is the most interesting flavor you've made with a cupcake?
Probably the salmon one, but I know before going on the show, I would practice a lot, and so we'd have people throw us random ingredients and stuff, and I don't remember, but we had some really gross ingredients, and I was
chicken broth or something.
Yeah, I don't know,
I just don't. Some of these I only want to
grilled mushrooms.
No, some of them especially if it's a Halloween episode, they're using pig feet and monkey brains or all these other weird things, and I'm like, I don't want to do it. So yeah, salmon is probably the weirdest one. I don't remember. There was some other.
Was it decent?
It was really good. So I didn't do a savory.
It won Cupcake Wars.
Yeah.
That was the
that
cupcake.
was it?
Yeah.
That was
so
the cupcake that won Cupcake Wars.
Basically, there's 3 rounds of competition, and round 1.
That's very Alaskan.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think they pick it based on that. I just happened to get thrown on. I was actually supposed to be on a different episode, but I don't bake gluten-free and vegan, and the guest judge was gluten-free and vegan, and they're like, hey, we're going to put you on this episode, but I want to make sure you're okay doing this. And I was like, I've never baked that way, but let me trial and error and see if I can, bake it, because it'd be really cool to go up against other bakers that specialize in this, and then I could come in and win.
Yeah.
But I tried for a week, and we only had a month before going on the show. And I was like, I don't want to embarrass myself on TV not having worked with it's more of a science with that kind of stuff. So I decided to go against it, which I'm so glad, because that was a Halloween episode with really, really weird ingredients.
And baking gluten free.
Yeah. So I'm like,
cool.
No.
Double whammy.
Yeah. So
difficulty
salmon was still, difficult to use and stuff, but I went the savory route. And so I did a buttermilk cake, and then I put the salmon in the cake, and then I did a lemon cream cheese filling. And then we did the stuff that you would dip your mini chimneys into. That was the frosting. And then put rolled salmon on top. So there was salmon in the cake filling and frosting. And so it was a very savory, they described it as you could take this and put it on a bagel and eat it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, it was not fun to make. It was very I have to pick all the bones out of the salmon, and it's in all 3 elements, and you're zesting lemons into the cake and on top, and so it was
A little complicated.
Yeah, I don't make it anymore. I used to make it a lot right when after the show aired and whatnot.
Course,
but
yeah.
I hate making my bakery smell like salmon, and it's expensive. Like I charge like $6. I'd probably charge like $8 for that cupcake now because of prices and stuff. But
yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to pull this up now.
yeah. Watch it and see.
Yeah, I wonder if
Send
my
him the link.
My
Yeah,
wife, I wonder
make
if
it
my
easy.
wife has seen it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It was
guarantee she has.
12 years ago. 13 years ago, 12 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a long time, but I used to watch that when it would come on.
yeah. It was a fun show.
Yeah. I'm into cupcake. I just like food, so.
Especially like 10, 12 years ago, that was probably one of the things to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so we've covered cupcakes, the bar. Ooh, I guess what's been the biggest hurdle with the bar so far, besides the licensing
And the pipes.
and the pipes?
I think just getting the word out there, like cupcakes was a lot easier, and I grew my business super easy. And I
Yeah.
think we thought
Social
too,
media.
social media has changed a lot from then to now as far
Yeah,
as who
big
sees
time.
your stuff. And so I thought we were very well known in the community, and I thought, hey, we're going to be opening up a place that was so well known for country night, and everyone's just going to flock to us, and we're going to be super successful right away. And that wasn't. It wasn't it. Like where we are now is where we thought we would have been a year ago when we opened and stuff.
Yeah.
So just
Takes time.
a lot more time and effort into
Yeah.
being really strategic with like the reels or the marketing that I do and everything to draw the most attention. And then, having to boost your post and pay for
Facebook
it
ads,
rather
yeah.
than just people
Yeah.
liking your, like when I started, if people liked my page, it always showed up in their feed. Now it's like, if you don't interact, share,
Yeah.
comment or whatever
Yeah.
on my stuff, you're not going to, it just doesn't
Yeah.
show up.
Yeah.
So
Organic only goes so far.
It does.
yeah. So a lot more advertisement, a lot more, effort being put into
Cupcakes
getting
are
known.
prettier too.
Yeah.
And it's like shares
Oh, yeah.
easier.
It's easy to see.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Less competition in the cupcake space
Oh,
too.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're kind of dealing with like all of the bars.
Well,
When it's
exactly.
cross-genre, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody likes
Yeah.
cupcakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So as far as like with the change in direction of marketing from cupcakes to bar, obviously the bar is going to be more niche than cupcakes. That hits a much broader generalized audience.
Yeah.
Like what who's your biggest audience for the bar? Do you see right military maybe or is
Yeah,
it a bunch
so-
of locals?
So I'd say definitely military,
Yeah.
and then a lot of the local dancers
Yeah.
come and hang out. Other than that, yeah, those were probably the biggest two draws.
Yeah, because we're right across from base.
Yeah, you guys are right there.
Yeah,
And
so we've
it's
done
growing. On Thursday nights now, you're seeing people that usually go out Friday and Saturday downtown. Now they're starting to come out to Thursday. Like,
Yeah.
this is the most hip and happening place in Anchorage on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
it makes me want to go now. I'm going to go check it out.
Yeah, you should. And tonight it's ladies' night, so tonight we're giving away backyard country barbecue tickets and
that's cool.
rodeo tickets.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Working with
Brad.
Brad over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right next door.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
he's
excited
awesome.
to be
Yeah,
part
I
of
like
that.
Brad a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he does a good
Praise.
job with all of his with Erickson Limited.
Great job. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, bringing all this talent up here to Alaska.
Yeah.
I thank him so much. Like, people give him crap for like, oh, you should have gotten this artist, or like,
Or they're like,
people
you're
have-
charging $100, and it's like you have no
you have
idea
no idea
what it
goes
costs
into
to
this
bring
kind
these
of
people.
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's just the mobilization and logistics of just getting people to
Dude.
Alaska.
Yeah.
Just airfare and
Yeah.
trucking stuff up
Yep.
is insane.
Yeah.
And you're like, just to get a single artist up here for 4 days.
And then having
risky.
the venue and the music
Yeah.
ready, like all the logistics of that.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a lot of work.
well,
Yeah.
we were texting people or Facebook messaging people on Facebook, Cooper Allen and Thomas.
They're like
Mack,
up and coming people. They're not even
TikTok
like
famous folk.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they wanted
Not on the radio yet.
$50,000,
Yeah.
and I was like, you're not even like super well known yet.
Yeah.
Like this is
Yeah.
crazy. And
Yeah.
and we've seen other people come up here. Like Matanuska used to put on events and brought up a semi-famous person. It
Yeah.
was like a brother of a famous
Yeah,
person.
so
and
Lee Bryce's brother,
Yeah.
Lewis Bryce.
yeah, and I think it was like $8,000 or $12,000. So I'm like, who are these TikTok people that think they should get 50,000 when these other people are actually super well known in the country industry?
Yeah.
So I was like, well, guess we're not bringing anyone up to our place anytime soon.
Yeah, I talked to Brad a bunch about just some of the charging and then just logistics of getting some of that stuff up, and and they have their own crew and sometimes their own like sets and
Yep.
audio, and that has to come up. So it's like 2 semi-trailers.
Yeah.
And so if you're not partnering with like Linden or Carlisle or whoever to like help with that logistical part of it, it's just
Yeah.
exorbitant.
Insane. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like,
And that's why there's, it's not every month you see a great artist here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As in like AAA. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We at one point we looked into like trying to get some like speakers, like motivational speakers,
Okay. Yeah.
like Gary Vee or Tony
Yeah.
Robbins or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, you want to talk about speaking fees?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're right. That would be crazy.
But it'd be
Like,
good because we don't have anything like that here.
Yeah.
And Alaska's a destination. It's a tourist
I
city.
know.
It's already kind of built for that.
It would be good to have a couple motivational speakers come up. I would definitely attend in a heartbeat because you'd see so many other awesome people you could connect with.
100%.
That
100%. Like,
but what I learned was the speaking fee for most of these guys was anywhere from $250,000 to $1,million for 1 hour.
Holy cow.
And it makes you think about some of the conferences we go to. We go and like they have some like high level people there.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at the cost now. And I'm like, how did they make this?
$7 million to put on this conference.
Sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, you paid how much for this guy to come
Well,
up?
it's like
for
you have the
1
vendors
hour?
come, right? So they have vendors they stick in between, and those people are paying to be on the stage. And I was like, that's how they do it.
Vendors,
Yep.
sponsors, because,
I mean-
you're having, like, movers that are actually going there that actually spend money and create things and keep going. So I would
Yeah.
imagine sponsors and vendors
Yeah.
100% sure it pays a big...
Yeah, I was just like, I'm not quite that connected yet to go and drop a
ambitious.
quarter
Yeah.
to $1 million on just 1 hour for one dude.
Yeah.
It's ambitious. I think we'd have to make it part of like the summit
Yeah.
that they already have, and
would be
that's starting to get a good following. So it's
Yeah.
like it could work. What would work?
Yeah, you would definitely. Definitely start a Facebook, group of just all the people that
Yeah.
appreciate these kind of things and want to, innovators. The people want
Yeah.
to go forward, and then once it reaches this, throw them a bone like, what's a good idea? What's a good motivational
Yeah.
speaker or whatnot,
Yeah.
and rally them all up, and then you actually have a physical meeting with all the great
Yeah.
minds.
How about we reduce your fees some, but we take you out on a fishing charter,
Right,
and
yeah.
do some helicopter tours.
Well, yeah.
you
So
know.
they do that for the backyard barbecue they used
Yeah.
to for exactly that fishing and
Make
they
it
used
fun.
Connect with other businesses to
Well, and
get.
then you're selling Alaska too.
Yep.
And so it's an
Yeah.
easier
the
push.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it is. We are a bucket list state for a lot of artists.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
like,
you
'cause
got
they wanna
Zach
hit all
Brown Band
50
here that
states.
lives, that doesn't live, but has a house out here, and then
Yeah.
also Craig Morgan has a house up here too. Like,
Yeah.
they're definitely a spot.
Yeah, actually, I did not know it, but Homer and Southeast Alaska, there's a lot more like artists and like
Celebrities.
celebrities that have vacation
A foothold,
hotspots. Yeah,
They just don't
and
know.
yeah, Sitka especially, Juneau, Ketchikan. I mean, like,
Yeah, because not everyone can get there. You gotta fly
Yeah,
you gotta
or,
fly
or
in,
use a
yeah.
boat.
Exclusivity.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
It's true.
Makes
And the towns
sense.
are small and people are
Yeah.
quiet.
Yeah.
Barrier to entry, right?
yeah. It's so-
Mountains.
yeah, Bill
Right,
Gates has
yeah.
got a place in Sitka. And,
Sitka's nice though.
yeah, it's on a
Sitka's
rock.
so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there once, I think.
If I was like, for me, I was like, if I could retire and buy one of these islands, one of the little tiny ones,
Yeah.
whether it be in
Solutions.
like Kodiak or Sitka or something, that'd be
Yeah, that'd
good
be
end
sick.
game.
I'd pick someplace tropical.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I mean, that's moderately tropical, right?
It's moderately a rainforest.
Yeah.
Maybe not so tropical.
Maybe in the summer.
Yeah.
Moderately a winter rainforest.
Yeah, there you go.
Not, I would say not tropical. Okay, so you're from here.
Yes.
Rico, are you from here?
I was born and raised on the opposite side of the continent, Florida.
I was gonna say Florida.
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah, and so I was born and raised there. 18 years old, I joined the military, and this was my first base, was J-Bear.
Okay.
And I was in the military for 12 years.
Nice.
Yep, I just got out 2 years ago, and
Really?
chasing that neon rainbow with Kastle, owning the pink Cadillac.
Yeah. Did it Air Force, Army side?
Air
or-
Force, yep.
Nice. What'd you do in the Air Force?
So I did finance, a desk job.
Okay.
Yep. So I did that, and basically I had my weekends off, so I could DJ for the past decade.
Uh-huh.
And then, right after work, I would just be on top of mountains, mountain biking, rock climbing,
Nice, man.
all the things, you know, a
Yeah.
19-year-old kid should be doing as a
Yeah.
man in Alaska is
Yeah.
like getting out there and just having as much fun as possible. So, man, it was great.
How do you
So-
think that your finance background influenced where you guys are at now? Do you think
Oh,
that was
military finance, it's a different ball game. It's a what? Shoot.
You're just like,
I don't even know when it was invented, but it's basically just a bulletproof, like, black and green screen with, like, typing numbers. I wouldn't, yeah, does not convert.
it's not a correlation to Excel. No, or all that.
No.
You're just making sure per diem matches and all that.
people get paid?
Yeah.
There's so many things that go into finance with the military, especially with the guard, because there's people going on orders and off orders. You have to make sure everything's right. And then people are traveling for one day just to like Sitka or something like that.
Yeah.
So you make sure. Yeah. It's, we have J-Bear has a super busy Air National Guard. Finance, like they're nonstop. It's awesome.
I bet, man. Yeah. I mean, we're super busy guard unit up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prestigious too for the pararescue jumpers for all the.
What, the 212?
You know it, yeah.
Yeah.
The 212 Vanilla Porter, Odd Man Rush.
Yeah.
I want your 212 Vanilla Porter on our taps. We love
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah.
Do you know them?
Yeah.
I'll say that's right by my house. It's my local haunting ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're top notch. Odd Man Rush. Oh my goodness. Praise to them. Like that's what we kind of aspire to be, is just like local owners, not brewers, but local owners that just bring it.
Yeah.
That is the spot to be in Eagle River.
Right now,
I
they're
believe.
definitely growing it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, with their stage and their venue over there. They have,
Rooftop, and then they got
rooftop
that
too.
whole stage there. They've been doing shows there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We
Yeah,
go
we-
out there sometimes for
Yep,
dancing.
yeah,
I'll
it's
start
only
out
10
there.
minutes away,
Yeah.
and it's great. Yeah, we could definitely make it there and dance to other bands and stuff like that, and yeah, it's great.
And the food trucks they have come to what's
El Senor
El Senor
Moose.
Shout out, my man.
Shout out to Jesus Chavira. Yeah, I used to work at the guard with you, man.
That's what's up.
That's cool, man. So, okay, so you did J-Bear,
Yep.
and then, but so not the whole time up here. Did you bounce around or? And
No,
then
it was
come
the
back,
whole
or?
time up here. So I was
Really?
so I was active duty and then switched to guard. Because I was DJing, I loved it. I'm like, there's so many more mountains to climb, and then I started DJing at Homestead, and then that came up, Facebook Marketplace for the old Last Frontier bar.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely stayed.
Well, that's cool, man. So, I mean, do you go home often, or are you just kind of like,
I'd probably say every other year.
yeah,
Every other year, and then parents have visited us 4 or 5 times now.
nice,
In the
man.
past 12 years. Yeah.
Cool.
That's a good ratio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, for a lot of people, that's a really good ratio.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so we'll get rabbit hole again, dude. See, it's just like okay. Come back up to business side of things.
Business.
Yeah. As we kind of cover business, I think a lot of people get into business not realizing
How much labor
like
on obstacles,
especially
and
as a
things
small business owner, that you just don't have the ability to payroll every hat,
Yeah.
right?
No.
And so
Not at the beginning.
not at the beginning,
Yeah.
right? And of course, as you build, like you can
Yeah.
get rid of hats, right, to people
Yeah.
to do specific things,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Generalist. Yep.
Yeah, right. Because it's just time is
Yep.
like a tough resource to have as a small business owner because
You
you're
know
doing
it.
everything,
Yeah.
right? So you're like 16 hours a day is very common,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You know, if not
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
I got a record. Last Friday, I did 15 and a half hours of DJing, not including setup or teardown. Did the military picnic on base, and then their after party, and then DJ'd the rest of the night at Pink Cadillac. So 15 and a half hours of
Just the
DJing.
DJing.
And it was, I was really tired after that.
Yeah. I was
That's
like,
a long
can we just put on a
lot.
playlist and go home? He's like, no, I got to make this record. And I was like, all right, well, you're going to be grumpy later. I'm
was
not going to want
grumpy
to be
later.
Oh yeah.
It just takes
So you gotta feed them cupcakes.
I know.
That's what you got.
Yeah.
Sugar highs, man.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
this whole like boo,
Right.
shoot.
Yeah. Caffeine is his friend. Keep
Yeah.
him going. Not
Yeah.
me, though, but yeah, him.
Yeah, that's the,
Castle runs on no caffeine the past
Well, my whole life. I don't drink
Whole
coffee at
life.
all. I've never tried coffee.
What's your go-to?
I don't know. I guess
Energy? Are you
adrenaline.
like energy drinks, or are
No,
you just like
nope.
high on life?
I think just high on life, and like I take naps too. But I think just like the adrenaline of just I got to get this done. I got to do this, and then I just make sure to rest when I can, and keeps me going. But
Yeah, Kastle is definitely an executor. Like, she executes things.
Awesome.
Like, if I was on a block, executed.
That's different kind.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, it's a good analogy. I do appreciate that. They're like,
No, when I have goals.
Man, she just sends it. Oh my goodness. Her Castle's Creations and Pink Cadillac and juggling.
Where do you
two
think that
kiddos.
comes from? Where do you think that drive comes from?
I think probably some of it from my mom and my dad. My dad was an entrepreneur,
Okay.
always owned his own business growing up. And then later on, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, but then later when we were self-sufficient, she went back to school and became a teacher. But
Yeah.
I think both of them just instilled like drive. And I grew up playing sports. I was in competitive sports I traveled all over the U.S. playing racquetball. So like, training skills with that and too. But I wasn't a person that liked to sit around and do nothing. And I'd always keep myself busy, always trying to learn more, trying to get it done faster. Like I said, I was barely 21 when I had my master's degree.
Masters.
So I just went through things. I was always learning,
Yeah.
always wanting to move on and do more things. So
Interesting.
Like,
Yeah,
give her a
just
checklist
drive.
and it's already done.
yeah.
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. When I have goals in mind, it's like, whether it's going to take this long or that long, I just, step by step, make my way through them.
Yeah, I'm more like the, there's definitely two sides of the entrepreneur world.
There is.
One is like the 30,000 foot, idea person, and that is to just create these things and then kind of bring them down to this level. And then you need like an operational person that like checklists it all and it's like wham, 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 wham. I am definitely this person. I can do this lower part. Is it my favorite? That answer is a strong no.
Yeah.
So my wife is that person for me. Billy does that he's very good at an execution of like finite meticulousness. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be done. Got to have both sides
You
of it.
got to have
to-
both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the
But
whiteboard
it's-
guy. Okay, so we got this thing. and we got-
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that looks right.
Yeah. I know I have to like schedule ahead. I'm like, okay, can we talk about these things? He's like, what are we talking about? Can you give me some stuff ahead of time so I can be prepared for it? And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Do you keep notes on your phone?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
Yes.
goodness.
That
We have the whole calendar on our phone.
Yeah.
And the hallway.
Yeah, we have like probably that size board. Like it's a digital calendar, so like the whole family can see it too.
Those are
And
cool.
for the kids and their
that's
tasks and
cool.
my tasks, and we go on there and they can click when they do things. And for me, it's like so satisfying to like check the mark, and it like gives you like confetti when you do it.
I'm actually thinking about getting one of those. You might have sold it to me with the confetti.
Oh, it's amazing. and then you can see it from your phone too, so you don't have to be there. And yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
love
cool.
it.
Well, my thought is I have a very busy schedule where I block out a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And so sometimes there's a lack of communication because I'm on my own plan, but I don't do a good job communicating in that necessarily. And so it creates some turmoil in a busy household.
Yeah.
So it seems like you guys probably have some of the similar issues.
Oh, yeah.
And it
Hey,
makes
we're
sense.
human.
Well, I mean, these are good problems to have. Right?
Yeah.
And I think we're so lucky that we have tools and things like that to be able to do so.
Yeah, we just always share our calendars too. Like even if it's like little things like a haircut or whatever, or massage for a break or whatever,
haircut.
just so that we can, know what each other are doing and be like, why are we not here doing this? And it's like, oh, he's here doing that, so we can just see.
It
everything
allows you to
going on.
respect their time in a way because it's
Knowing's
acknowledged.
half the battle.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I like the confetti because I can. If I can, I kind of want that for my completion of tasks.
Yeah, it's satisfying, and then you can like set things too, especially
She
for the
doesn't need
kids.
coffee. Just confetti.
Just confetti on calendars.
Yeah, it's like
I used to do sticky notes because you could, like you'd stack them all up.
Yeah.
And then you can.
pull them away. Yeah,
Oh,
that would be
okay.
satisfying too.
See, now you already sold two of us, right? You should do more small, like short videos on like TikTok, and then with commission earnings
Right.
thing on selling those little calendar things.
I know when I
We
get
were
hooked on
just
these.
talking
yeah.
about on the hike yesterday. We were hiking yesterday in McHugh Peak area, and Kastle was saying, like, why don't we just make a big map of Alaska or the local Anchorage area with all the hikes, and then you take a picture, and then you post your
You know how
picture
they
on
have
the hike.
those like United State maps and like
Yeah.
you can put pictures of like being in that state, and I was like, but what if we created one for like hiking?
Yeah.
And then you could put a picture at like each of those
It's like a
hikes and
snap
stuff.
map for those hikes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good idea.
Yeah. And I
That's
was
a
like,
cool
that'd
idea.
be fun. But then he's like, but then there's only so many people in Alaska, and then only so many hikers, and then it'd have to be a hiker enthusiast. And he's like, is it worth your time? And so
Yes.
I'm like, well, fine, I'll do it for myself. But then people would like it and want it, and
Yeah.
so
And you could put commentary there and stuff, and people could give the scoop on the. I saw a bear at the what? I could see that working.
yeah, I think
And there's
it'd be
probably
fun,
enough people that you would have a user base.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This comes back to time.
yeah,
It's like-
exactly.
Do you guys understand Castle's creations?
Yeah.
Scope of that.
Yeah. And that's been a hard thing too, is so like Pink Cadillac is like when we first started, so the bakery is basically settled. I had people, now working for me, doing all the things
Yeah.
I needed to. I was fine financially. That's, what was paying the bills and keeping us afloat and everything. And now it's both businesses are exploding at the same time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
because I'm, moving into the wholesale world, like I got the Three Bears, and then I'm about to be on a TV show. Well, both of us are.
Very cool.
And through that, I finally got Fred Meyer's attention, and I'm about to be in all 11 Fred Meyers as well. So it's
That's
been even
awesome.
more of a balance, like trying
Yeah.
to, conquer both businesses at the same time. And now I have to be in the bakery more because I'm creating new flavors, or I'm, trying to send out samples or this or that. It's been a lot more challenging with my time and stuff. So my time is definitely worth a lot.
Castle is pretty damn close to having a personal
Assistant.
Like yeah.
for administrative, just answering all the phone calls. Like
Oh,
we'll be
yeah.
doing anything and just phone ringing.
People used to joke in the bakery. They're like, if you want to text or call Castle, you have to pay $5 because it would stop me so much. And like, I obviously wear earpiece
Yeah.
when I'm baking and stuff, but I'm just like, I'm nonstop on my phone doing
Yep.
texts, emails, calls.
So to reduce that, it would.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd just be so much more efficient. It's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's so many things.
I just saw on Facebook or Instagram they have this new like AI thing now that you can like set up AI to answer all your calls, and you can like
create an
train
agent.
it
Yep.
to do and like know your information, and then all the reviews I've seen so far is like this
I
has been
need
a,
that.
a game changer.
They'll take notes during your
need
meetings
that.
Yeah.
and stuff. It's actually pretty slick. So
Yeah.
I was talking to someone about that yesterday. Basically create an agent for me that answers my phone.
Yeah.
Because then I could talk to more people and then also answer more calls.
Yep.
And it's all automated. Not like you have, you're not paying that person.
Yeah.
I either need that or to change my number.
Yeah.
New phone, who this?
Seriously. Like
Limited
so
amount of
it's
people.
too many people have it, and I get to way too many calls.
Yeah.
Let alone the amount of spam shit out
Oh,
there. that
yeah.
oh my god.
Well, that's why it's pretty the port numbers is a slick solution for that.
Yeah, I know. It's just
So it's like I have my regular cell phone number and then I have my real estate phone number that all comes through that one app.
Nice.
So I can kind of compartmentalize it to that.
Yep.
Not that I ignore it, but if I wanted to, I could just delete it.
Yeah. We gotta do that with Facebook Messenger with Pink Cadillac. That's kind of
Yeah.
compartmentalized in there. That reduces a crap ton of phone calls.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
oh yeah. I bet you guys have it set up to like it just messages or hits like a WhatsApp or
Facebook Messenger.
yeah.
Just through Facebook Messenger.
Yep.
Or they
Yeah.
call or text.
And you
my
can set up
phone.
auto replies in there too.
You
which is
can.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah, we should set up some of those because sometimes they just ask about generalized information that if,
Oh yeah.
You know,
FAQ
would be in-
page or whatever.
Yeah.
yeah, I should look into that.
Yeah. How about a VA? Any VAs?
VAs?
Like a virtual assistant?
Oh,
Like oversees anybody
I don't,
or
we don't have anything like that yet, but that would be probably a good idea to look into.
How long has Juvelin? Like 4 or 5 years?
it's been with me 4 years. Yeah. Pierre's been 6 months, I think. I have two. Our entire marketing team is all
VA?
VAs. Yeah.
Oh,
They do a good
Yeah.
job.
Our video editor and who runs all of our socials.
okay.
So
Yeah, I'm really trying to figure out if a VA would be great or not right now. Because it probably would be great. Because are they out of country?
they're out of country. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nothing
I mean,
else to
because the
be said.
marketing stuff, it's not the marketing posting it is time specific, right? But you can schedule it at any point in time.
Yeah,
You know,
which is super nice that you can do that.
100%. And so they can schedule it to be posted on certain timelines, right? So it doesn't matter when they're doing it. I mean,
Yeah.
they're working when I'm sleeping, right? Because they're based in the Philippines, so 16 hours ahead, 17 hours ahead,
Yeah.
right?
But
So
it's nice to think the boat's going still in
Yeah.
the direction
Yeah.
where
Right.
you're sleeping.
While you can sleep. Get
yeah,
some
you know,
rest.
so it's like,
Recharge.
okay, you know,
Rest
just
is a real
give
thing.
this to you guys, and then they take care of it, you know. So, you know, it's like with the podcast stuff, it's super convenient because I just plug like all the audio, the video from both cameras into a G drive.
Yeah.
Our video editor takes it, plugs it all together, you know, cuts everything, does all the intros. Usually takes some point of a conversation and makes a really funny intro. Sometimes,
Not always at my expense, though.
sometimes at your expense, or you know, whoever. So usually at mine. Yeah, Pierre's very good at that. He watches the entire thing. So if he hears me talking about him, he'll messages me through our Telegram app and be like, "Oh, Justin, I heard you talking about me." So he'll send me something on this point right now. I know he'll
awesome.
mention it, but and then he pops it over to our other marketing person, Juvelin, and then
Puts it all
they
together.
create the descriptions, they put it on YouTube, they
That's awesome.
chop it all up into shorts and Insta and TikTok.
Yeah.
and
If you
amazing.
can't delegate that stuff out, I might.
I would love to. We tried one time having
Yeah.
someone, but her style wasn't what I envisioned for
Yeah.
like the posters and other things
Yeah.
like that. And so I felt like I was doing more work because I didn't like it. So then I would redo it,
Yeah.
or then I'm like, why is this not posted yet? This or that. And so I got so frustrated. I'm like, look,
Yeah.
if I'm paying someone to do this, they better do just as good, if not better than me. And I was like, fine, I'm just gonna do it for now. I cannot.
Yeah.
This is more stressful and more time consuming by letting someone else do
Well,
it
and this
right
client
now.
facing, but maybe the administrative stuff behind the scenes that's not so
Exactly.
customer facing. Maybe that's
Yep.
easier to delegate. 'Cause
Yeah.
You don't have a
well,
control.
I have delegated it to him.
Yeah, so that's why I was thinking about a VA or
Yeah.
even an assistant for Kastle with Castle's Creations and with Pink Cadillac.
Yeah.
But you got to put a lot of systems into place
Yes.
that are very practical and,
Yeah.
like you said, not facing the customer exactly because there's so many things that could go wrong or misrepresented or just not quality work.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Some
just
of
put,
it is having the money to do it too.
Yeah.
You know, we're still
Exactly.
like we're finally feeling at the place like, okay, now we have money for this, now we have that. But before
Yeah.
it was like we can't afford to pay someone to do that.
Yeah. That's
So.
that's the hat wearing thing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep. Oh, yeah. So many hats.
Delegating, which usually costs money to
Yeah.
hire people to do those
Yeah.
things for you.
I'll be DJing 1 second, changing kegs in the keg room, and then I'll be at security checking
Yeah.
IDs. I'll be
Yep.
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 You're the mover and shaker that makes it all work, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and then
Yeah.
people just don't understand. Like I'm in a million places at once. Like holy smokes.
And then I'm thinking about where I'm going to go next. And
Yeah.
so where I'm at's not really where I'm at.
yeah, and that's yeah.
What's the for you guys? What's the biggest challenge of running a bar? I guess a lot of people just don't know what it takes to run like a bar. You know, like it's just kind of like they come in, they get ID'd, they get a drink. You know, but I know there's so much more that happens on the back end. You know?
I mean, the one of the first problems we had was just with the landlord / just the building itself. Just
Right.
just maintaining a building or a space.
Yeah.
That's real estate.
Right.
That's literally a portion of it.
Yeah.
Because we weren't ready for that exactly or that many things to go wrong because no heat.
Right.
And then bar. There's so much turnover. Like
Yeah.
everybody will say,
employees and-
so much
Yeah.
turnover with employees and stuff.
And we didn't have any knowledge of bartending
Oh,
or like running a bar and stuff. So like we're like, okay, we're
So
gonna
learning
hire.
that.
Yeah, and we had a
Yeah.
really good friend that Rico knew from Willowa, and so we had him kind of come on as our bar lead bartender and stuff. And we had hired a bar manager at the beginning too. And I was like, we're gonna not.
Sore spot.
We're gonna not. We're not gonna know what we're doing getting into this, but we're gonna hire an A+ team that's gonna teach us, and we're gonna learn through this process. And things didn't go how we wanted to, and we had to learn some hard lessons, and we lost.
Oh, yeah.
We had someone come in later, and they're like, "Why are you doing this?" I'm like, "Because that's what the bartender said." And they're like, "Well, you've probably lost over $20,000 over the last 6 months because you were doing it this way instead of that way." And I'm like, well, we didn't know. And so it's just been a
Yeah.
lot of like things that we had to learn because we didn't know the industry well enough when getting into it. But yeah, that, and then just like another thing people don't think of, especially with country music, but it's just like you have so many different groups of people that you're pleasing in an evening. And so like all our nights before, it was country night only once a week.
Yeah.
And so you have to jam everything into one night of, hitting everyone's needs and wants for dance songs and this and that. But now that we're a full country bar, like we have, 5, 6, 7 nights a week. So we like categorize each night. So it's like, if you want more line dancing, come on this night. If you want more of like the real classic country music, come on this night. So we can cater to everyone. And
Specialized. Yep.
Yeah.
yeah. But even so, people still have their wants and they still want it all done on one night and everything. So like trying to cater to the bar crowd, trying to cater to the line dancers versus the partner dancers, and then trying to cater to new country versus old country. And it's and we're dancers and we love music, and that's why we went into it. But we also run a business doing it. So we have to, we want this music, but we know people are going to leave if we play this music. And so it's just it's a hard thing to try and balance out.
There's a reason why these country bars don't exist up here.
Yeah.
Just a one-off night for certain bars that are been around for probably longer than I've been living.
Yeah.
So like, there's a reason why like business is business, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, you got to do what brings people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make some money.
Or just to exist.
Right.
Yeah.
Imagine opening up this, doing all the hurdles, and then whoop, no more. But I think we were past. I would say we were past the point. I always totally believe that we're going to always be successful and just keep going up and all that stuff, and obviously we are. But there was probably a 6-month window from February 1st to 6 months out that we were like, is this going to work? Is this going to work?
And we had to change things up too. Like we had our different nights, and I'm like, this isn't working. Nobody's coming. And so we got to change it to this, or let's bring in trivia, or nope, that's not working. And so like it was constantly changing.
And it did not help that we were doing it at the beginning of summer, basically, or like once we got established, sort of. Then it was summertime, and we can't compete with Mother Nature, especially with like the country crowd. Like they'd rather be on a mountain or in their backyard, cracking a beer, or camping, traveling to go camping, basically. Like how does anybody compete with that? So I mean, I'm pretty sure it's across the board in the bar world here in Anchorage.
I would think so. You're probably right about that. I don't think that was niche to you guys.
Yeah,
it does seem like it's kind of like the
summertime. It's a little tougher for sure.
Yeah.
I'd rather be on a mountain. Yesterday we were on a mountain. So.
Yeah, I was like, I switched around the bakery.
Right
it's glad you guys it's cool that you guys make time for that. It sounds like you're both very busy.
Yeah. We looked at the schedule or the weather earlier in the week, and I was like, okay, I was supposed to do this on Wednesday. It's supposed to be a beautiful day. I'm moving my bakery stuff to Tuesday so we can hike Wednesday.
See.
Yeah, the only state where you make your business around the weather, like our weather app,
or fishing, or hunting.
Yeah. When the fish are in, you go.
Yeah, I've heard they're in actually right now.
Yeah.
You know what? I just thought about it. We have a hunting, what is it called? Theme night.
Oh yeah.
We don't have a fishing theme night.
We don't.
Yeah, we need to
That'd be fun.
Yeah, we need everyone to get hooked on it.
Yeah, you could do your salmon cupcakes.
I could.
Oh my goodness. you really could.
And you know what? That actually would bring a lot of people into the bar just to get those cupcakes again.
That was great.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
We should do it. Okay, I'll go get salmon. I'll do it. I'll do it for the bar.
It's a good time of year for that. It's playing the season.
I call it the salmon are running or salmon or bacon. I don't know.
Hooked, line, and sinker.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Probably let's do something with the cupcake. Yeah, it was solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should.
Anyways, thank you.
See? 30,000 foot guy.
Yeah.
Right?
That was
execution side. I'm like,
that's a theme night for sure.
Now we just got to take the idea.
Now, like, see,
execute it.
You'll run with that. Yeah.
She's got the cupcakes.
Well, it's another excuse to show off your waiters,
Yeah.
Well, we have spring breakup.
Oh yeah, in
spring
April
breakup.
we do
with the
extra
waiters.
tough night.
Extra tough night.
Oh, there we go.
Spring breakup, so extra tough spring breakup.
Everybody's
That's
got
good.
those.
I like that.
Yeah. I almost feel like that's almost every night.
It has been
in Alaska. So, no matter where you're at, it's like, you could walk into a gala and someone has extra toughs on.
You know it. Oh yeah.
It's the Alaskan thing.
It is.
Yeah, it's signature. That's why we having the theme nights, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Apparently, there's an Alaskan look. They got the extra tufts and the beanie and the cup.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Well, we're probably probably like hour and 10, hour and 15 in.
How's your butt meter feel?
Oh gosh, I said this on our last podcast.
Sorry, your butt gauge.
My butt, yes. I was like, I can always tell like when we're starting to get above an
you're
hour.
doing it right now.
Yeah,
See,
he's
you're
like-
like, yeah,
he's starting to get
this.
Because I'm like, you know, I was like, I could, because my bottom,
Yeah, low back.
you know, I'm like, I can always start to feel like me having to, you know, adjust myself. I'm like, we're more than an hour.
Do you
know?
do you tilt your pelvis like posteriorly just to get it like more aligned and stuff, so it's not
What'd you say?
right?
No, it's,
Yeah. So I also did massage therapy for 2 years, and I worked for two chiropractors. And yeah, for that, yeah, you definitely want to like posteriorly tilt your pelvis like forward, and then and then you can lean back. But if you have like a duck butt and then do that, then you're just cramping your low back, and then
it's not the back. It's just sitting for so long.
No,
right?
it's definitely the duck butt.
Yeah, so we've covered a butt gauge and now duck butt. And we have gone full circle on this conversation, Billy. Most likely, that's what's going to be the intro.
these guys are quackers.
Whack, whack.
Guarantee that's Pierre's going to take that as the intro. I already know what it's going to be. I'm like,
You guys are
that's the intro
super
now.
positive and super fun. And so you mentioned that, you just have goals and kind of go for it. And then you said something later about you just believe that you're going to be successful and grow. And I think holding on to those things is so important.
Yeah,
It makes a huge difference, because there was plenty of times where multiple people were like, well, I mean, even when we went for investors, nobody.
Everyone said no. They're like, if you need investments for Kastle's creation, 100%, but I will never invest in this bar. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, that's. Why do you think that is?
The risk,
Yeah,
the
so-
risk,
Oh.
and also the believability.
Yeah, not
because-
believing that it could be successful, not believing that they'd actually get their money back, or that. But I'm like, but you know me, you know
Right.
the business that I've created, and one person even from the community, he joked with one of the other bartenders. He's like, you should go work for them. Everything Kastle does turns to gold. Basically, like that I'm successful with whatever I do.
Right.
And
Kinda is.
she
That's
decided.
that's execution, though.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
just drive.
But
Yeah.
she decided not to come work with us. But I think that, but no matter how much I tried to convince them, they're like, I can't do it. I can't invest into this type of business and whatnot. So,
I feel like that makes it that much better that you guys are winning now, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, having that much stake, like, man.
well,
steak
and just
night.
between us two, like we get in our own like arguments with each other about things.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
imagine having
In
like
the
more
hallway.
investors
In the
like
calendar.
involved and people that it affects and stuff.
Yeah.
Like not being able to make decisions like we need to because there's too many people involved. So I think in the long run, it's better that it happened the way that it
Yeah,
did for
I
sure.
wouldn't imagine dealing with other investors and stuff, because, oh man, they just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And the pressure that's on you too, I feel like is part of the drive, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you mentioned that, like having to get things done that's your drive. Right?
Yeah.
So if you think about not having those investors, you would have had an out, right? So instead, you took all the weight of it, and then
Well, and you have no choice but to like be successful,
Right.
Because otherwise you're gonna have nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like there's been plenty of hard moments and like crying, and getting frustrated, and this and that. It's like you can like have your moments and like, all right, now what are we gonna do to like get over this hump and keep moving forward?
Yeah, we with agents on our team, we say this a lot actually, and that is, it's the sink or swim approach, right? So if you always have a plan B that's already there, like you already have an exit, right, planned in your head. You're not fully committed to plan A.
no, you're planning to leave is what you're doing. You're
Yeah.
planning to fail, right?
Yeah. So the whole sink or swim, like, oh, I just have to get this done. At least try 110%.
It's not an option. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Just keep going.
yeah.
Yeah, Kastle's resourcefulness and like networking is incredible too, because we've had plenty of help from other entities and other folks. Well, also the
Yeah.
dance community itself
Yeah.
helped build the place, like laying down some floors and painting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we got a quote from someone to do renovations to like before we opened, and they're like, yeah, it's gonna be $100,000. I'm like,
Yeah.
so I made a group chat like with the dancers, and I was like,
Yeah.
here's what we need to do. We need your help. we'll feed you, we'll give you, drinks and food and whatnot, and like help us, put in the new dance floor, help us do this. And I think we did all the stuff we needed to open just as the dance hall with $10,000 compared to
really
that
good.
because of,
Yeah.
drawing the community together and,
Yeah.
giving of their time and stuff. And not everyone could help a ton, but like it was like these people help with this part and these people help with that part. And, there's
Yeah.
well over probably 50 to 100 people within the community that like rotates through and stuff. So, everyone gives a little bit of their time and it goes a long way to get where we needed to.
Yeah. Oh, that's pride and just contribution. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if
getting
somebody
to be part
else
of it.
if somebody else was making a country bar here in Alaska, I would have been head over heels over there as much as I possibly could,
Yeah.
like in a heartbeat. Like
Yeah.
it'd be silly of me not to, because that
Right.
would not grow the country community if I was not over
Right.
there doing
Right.
as much as I can to grow it
Yeah.
and letting everybody know and stuff.
Yeah. All right.
All
So we're at a point in our podcast where we always ask every guest.
I should have watched a podcast.
That's okay. It's actually easy. So, based upon your guys' experience with Kastle Creations and the bar, what we always say, if you were a younger entrepreneur, business owner, self, what are 5 tips you would give yourself?
So like time machine.
Yeah, I would have. While I was a DJ in those 7 years before, or 7 years, I guess 8.5 years, I would have definitely been a bartender. 100%. That would have. I don't know.
Made things a lot
bar
easier.
and then a tender. Put those two and two together. That would have changed everything, and possibly even be a bar manager. I
Yeah.
guess I would. It would have been ideal to be a bar manager too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. That would have.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Made things a lot easier.
Yes.
Well, we would just been more
Tons.
prepared and been more
Oh,
knowledgeable.
yeah. Having
less
all the
mistakes.
answers. Whew.
Yeah. I think too, having a good mentor. I mean, we've had a mentor through some of it, as we move forward. and
Shout
stuff.
out to.
Molly Blakely.
Yep.
She owns Molly B's Cookies.
Yep.
But she also used to own a bar for 17 years in
Really?
Soldotna. Yeah, her dad had it. I think it was her dad or her mom for 30 some years, and then she took over it, and then she sold it, and then there was a whole thing that came of that. Like she sold the business for I think $2 million, and then it was an owner finance thing, and she put the building though in that person's name before everything was done and paid
Yep.
for, and then he just ran off with it, so she didn't get any of her money, and that's how Molly B's Cookies started. So she helps mentor me actually in both businesses. So she's a good person, but I think sometimes not feeling like you have to always figure it out on your own. There's always people out there that are willing to collaborate and work with you, and they
Yeah.
want to see everyone succeed.
Yeah.
And I think when I first started Cupcakes, people weren't like that. Like I worked hard, I got here because I did all this research. I'm not going to share with you what you did. But nowadays it's like if we all work together, we can all be more successful and stuff. So definitely having a mentor to help you through those stages. Probably having, he'd always talked about one day maybe owning a bar, and 6 months before we signed the lease, I brought it up and I was like, businesses don't just happen out of thin air. Like you need to have a plan in place. We got to figure out, is this even something doable? Like what kind of numbers would we bring in? Do we have the resources and finances to do this? And so we weren't as prepared when it came up for lease, but it was also one of those moments of, if we don't take this leap of faith,
Yeah.
we won't get this again probably.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
it was the location and the
Yep.
building
Yeah.
and what it was known for.
Yep.
So I think having more of a better, business plan in place would be something that I would have liked to have. But also Castle's Creations came out of thin air. So I knew that I did it once, that I could do it again. But yeah, having more money in place to be ready for it
Yeah,
and having a
some
plan in
capital.
place.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah. No way. Yeah.
I think being a bartender, bar manager, that would have solved tons
Of issues.
of problems.
Well, and we talked about it too. Like we had a restaurant next door, El Rodeo. He's another really great mentor,
Oh, my
and
goodness.
he carries my desserts
Yeah,
too.
Godfrey.
and-
Carlos.
Yeah, Godfrey or Carlos. I don't-
Top-notch guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. Oh, man.
Yeah, but I think we brought up. I was like, "Can we come over and bartend on your slow nights just to learn and stuff?" But we were so busy with other things, we never made it.
Yeah.
We never got over there to do it.
Years
but
before we should have done it, yeah.
Yep.
yeah, But we didn't really know we were going to do it. Like literally,
Yeah, I know.
in December, I think we were talking about, we were out at Alaska hiking, or maybe it was the summertime. We were hiking in Alaska. I remember that. And we had the conversation. And then it was like within 6 months that it came up. And so it was
Yeah.
just like, there was
Things
no.
just happen.
Yeah, it just happened.
Yeah.
And we just ran with it.
So we got one is like experience in what you're wanting to do, right?
Oh, yeah.
2 is a better business plan / capital for your investment.
Yeah.
What do you think number 3 is?
I would say a mentor from the start.
Having a mentor.
Yeah, even if it's
Or
someone you have
coach.
to pay,
Yeah.
to teach you the ways, which we thought we were getting, but we didn't. So
Yeah, mentor, they can just see so many things that
Yeah.
you don't see.
Or they've
going-
experienced.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or they experienced a bunch of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe education too, with like
Yeah.
the behind the scenes, like going through courses. Same with the bartending stuff, like going
yeah.
through,
Dude, just
Yeah.
bartender,
So self-education.
bar managers.
Yeah.
like this.
yeah, more
Yeah.
self education. Yeah.
Okay. So 4.
What were the 3 we said so far?
You had experience in bar stuff, right? So whatever you guys wanting to do, business plan / capital, mentor, business or / business coach. So 4.
I would say belief, but I got that.
That's a good one.
I mean, it's
I mean,
a powerful one, man.
It is.
Yeah.
Just knowing it's going to work and you just
Yeah.
keep pushing for it.
Yeah.
And, you don't let any naysayers.
Well, it's
Oh
like
my gosh.
manifestation. That's kind of what I was poking at.
There
Is
you
you
go,
guys had
yeah.
the conversation, and the thing came up, and you're like, "Well, it's now or never. Let's go." And then,
Yeah.
then you had a bunch of weight on you, and you squared it to the top.
I would say that I think you guys are like number 36 of our podcast. I would say almost half have all said belief in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like that you're going to, that you're going to make it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and I
so-
think he does a better job, like, because I'm so busy with so much stuff, I'm just like, is this worth it? Should we
Yeah.
have done this? And I
Yeah.
even asked him, I said,
Well-
if you ever had to do this again, would you do it again? Because I don't know if I would. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. So I think having
Yeah.
someone that sees more into it and then like being able to keep you along, be like,
Yeah.
okay, we got this. We're going to be
Yeah.
fine. Like, we're going to do this together. And
Yeah.
so,
And to put that into super duper perspective, Kastle also obviously has Castle's Creations, and she has, 2 mouths to feed, and then she also has 2 properties now and an RV. So her plate is
Yeah.
like super duper full.
Right.
So like when she's not seeing, pink Cadillac, just overflowing,
Right.
especially for the first 6 months, her mind is all at all these other places.
Yeah.
And then I'm just, totally believing. I totally like understand the process. Like, oh, we got to do all this.
Yeah.
And just, keep executing with Kastle. And yeah, that belief is top notch when you have it.
Yeah.
Just having the vision. and then-
Manifestation and belief in yourself is super important. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Number 5. Last one.
maybe more specific goals, I guess. But I guess that would be like business planning and
would
How
be
about
effective.
any large lessons learned in business? What do you think your biggest lesson learned is?
I know you got one because
probably do better interviewing. That'd be great because of turnover. But shit. the biggest thing is because of our first bar manager or whatnot. That really was a heavy hitter to us.
just
like
didn't
as
get
in
us. It hit us financially, but also like knowledge. We didn't get out of it what we thought we were going to
Yeah.
get. So it just
so
put
then it
us
goes
really
back to
behind.
that bar managing
Yeah.
of like the experience.
The
Like, just-
experience part of it.
having good help, right? That's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably why we're successful is probably the reason why these questions are so hard is because we're good to go. Like we have a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what else we could have effectively.
I always tell myself, like, if I think of that, like, what a 5th point would be for, like, Castle's Creations, I would say, don't go cheap on things. Like, spend the money to get things that are going to, like, last you a long time and spend the investment rather than trying to save, $30,000. Like, with my food truck. When I first got it, I bought an old used truck, like, just
Yeah.
a box truck for $5,000.
Yeah.
My last repair that I had to do on it before I sold it, which I'd already spent lots of money before that, was $16,000. So I say
Yeah.
if I ever had to go back and tell myself something different or anyone getting into that, I always say buy a new food truck. You're going to
Yeah.
spend 75 to 80,000 on everything else you need to do to the food truck, but if you don't, like you can't run a business.
Right.
So that would probably be for me what I would say is spend the money to get new
Don't band-aid
equipment.
it.
Yeah, don't try and get something to cut corners because on finances because it's going to later hit you,
Yeah.
and you're going to pay more money than you did if you had just gone from it from the start.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Car once, cry once kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, well, on top of it is you don't know how long that is going to last, right? Because it's super cheap. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's most likely used or whatever else.
Yeah.
But so you have downtime. So then you're not earning money off of whatever it is. Plus, I mean, we live in Alaska, so getting replacement things takes
Yeah.
time. So
Yep.
you're getting ding times two, you know,
Yep.
Yeah.
versus just doing it right the first time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's how we felt about the water leak in the women's restroom or whatnot when we had to close our place down for the whole weekend
Yeah,
before
we
we
lost-
even opened. So like that
Yeah.
was thousands of dollars just
And
down the
lost
drain
revenue.
because
Yep.
like
Yep.
wow.
Wanted to save $100 on our heating or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Which is, you know, and every small business is trying to pinch pennies, right? Because the cost of just everything has gone up, right? Employees are challenging and expensive, right? Workers' comp is expensive and healthcare, et cetera. But cutting too many corners really, like,
Detrimental.
not worth it.
is super detrimental, right?
Yeah.
And so it typically is a multiple X negative on top of what you would have originally
Yeah.
spent. So
Let's
I
just
think that's
multiply this in the wrong
solid
direction.
advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Kastle Creations, Pink Cadillac Bar. Where can people find you online?
Yeah, so on Facebook and Instagram,
Okay.
Castle's Creations is A Castle's Creations, so like AK. And then Pink Cadillac is Pink Cadillac AK.
Okay.
And Kastle with a K.
K. And Creations with a K.
And K.
Yep.
Good. Okay.
Both Ks,
I'm
both
like,
plural.
I knew it was with K, so I was like, wanted to make
Yeah.
sure people punched in the right
Yeah.
info.
My name's unique, so I wanted it part of the business.
Awesome. Yeah, 100%. And then Pink Cadillac Bar is on Muldoon.
Yep.
You guys are, what part of Muldoon are you in?
Right off the bridge, like basically right when you get off.
Yeah, the second strip mall off to the left, next to the building at Flo's Pancake House. Same
Strip malls. Oh, it's El Rodeo.
strip mall as El Rodeo. Yep.
Very cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for coming on the show. Any quick shout outs to anybody before you jump off or?
You have a hard time shouting out to people. You have so many people to thank. Oh my goodness. Well, definitely shout out to Carlos at El Rodeo. Man,
Yeah.
you're great. Oh my goodness. Helped us out so much with the bar and catering to us and just helping us out in general, whether it's ice or 'cause sometimes we run out of ice, believe it
Yeah.
or not, especially
We
on
have really
I
busy
bet.
nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet.
And man, yeah, Carlos
Yeah.
is just great. Yeah, especially with the catering events too.
We have a very small kitchen, so we only do pizzas and my dessert.
Yeah.
So
It's not a kitchen.
No, it's not. It's like tabletop ovens.
Oh, yeah.
So we looked
Easy
in.
bake for adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They do a ton of catering too. They do
yeah,
a
they
massive
do.
amount of catering. Yeah.
Carlos
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. And
He's actually helping us out this Sunday for the
the rodeo banquet.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be
Awesome.
bringing the food over
we're
for us.
sponsors
Yeah.
right now, and
Yeah.
Yeah. So besides that, I'd say definitely shout out to Molly. She's been amazing. It's funny though, because she told us not to get into the bar business because she knew what it was like. And
Yeah.
she's like, but if you're going to do it. So, I mean, she supports us all along the way, gives
Yeah.
us ideas. I'm talking to her about both businesses all the time. And she's been amazing.
And Molly was absolutely correct, objectively and monetarily wise. But we just have that emotional spirit to want this damn bar.
If we wanted to suffer, okay?
Yeah, real hardcore. Yeah, but I mean, we could have made so much more with Castle's Creations, just expanding that. But
Yeah.
we're dancers at heart, and we absolutely love it. And man, oh man, we're filling a niche here in Anchorage.
Yeah.
And a new bar space, a new clean, safe, bright bar space, brand new. Oh man,
That's awesome.
You don't get that experience
Yeah.
every time you visit Anchorage.
No. Well, thanks for coming on, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
awesome,
absolutely. We'll have to give a shout out. We'll let you guys know as soon as this thing launches. So, but yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you guys.